Remember all the difficulty we did when we did it the hard way? Let's do it the simplest way possible here with MIT App Inventor 2. You log into App Inventor using your Google account. It's required to have a Google account in order to use App Inventor. And in the next movie, I'll go through the entire process of setting up App Inventor, installing all the pieces, and signing up through your Google account and giving permissions. But for right now, I've got it all set up, so let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to drag a button onto the screen. I'm going to come down here in the properties, like I did before. I'm going to change the button to say, Tap Me. And I'm going to go ahead and drag a label onto the screen. And I'm going to set the text for that label to the empty string so that it doesn't show. That's all that's necessary to set up the design. Now, to go ahead and make the code, you'll see that all we need to do is click on the button. And you'll see a whole bunch of things here, blocks that allow you to decide what to do when different events happen. In this case, I simply want to grab a when button 1 is clicked block and put it on the screen. And you'll notice inside there's a space. This space inside is for what to do when somebody clicks on that button. In this particular case, we want to do something with the label. So we click on the label, and one of the things we can do is to set the label text. So we drag that onto the screen. I'm going to drop it right here. And you'll notice it has cutouts that exactly match the space inside the when button click. So all we have to do is to drag this inside there, and you'll notice that the little downward pointing thing in the when button click highlights with a little yellow piece in order to show you that, yes, it's possible to drop this in here because you can't make a mistake with App Inventor. You can only put things in places where they belong. So we drop it in there. You hear that little click. That's your indication that those pieces are locked together like a jigsaw puzzle. So now we have everything except the last piece. And that last piece is what to set the label to. And in fact, if we look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that it says we have a warning. So we'll click the Show Warnings, and Show Warnings will show us this little yellow triangle with a exclamation point in the middle telling us, when we click on it, that we should fill in all of the sockets with blocks. The big dark green thing in the middle of the screen here is called a block. The place where you put a block, this piece right over here on the end, is called a socket. Now, in order to fill in that socket, in order to say what text we want to put in the label, we'll go back to our blocks and select Text, and select the simplest one right up here at the top, which is a string that we can type into. So we'll grab this block, put it over in the socket. You notice again how it highlights when we get close. Drop it in there. Again, the click. We click in the pink area here and type in the text that we want. Hi there. Hit the return key. And that's all we need to do. Now, in order to run this, we're going to go ahead and come up to the Connect menu and select Emulator. Now, if you've gone to this website and you haven't gone through the process in the next movie, it may not go ahead and hook up to the emulator because you need to install the App Inventor helper software. But in our case, we've already done that in order to show you the basics of how easy it is to build an app. So I'm going to go ahead and click Emulator. And now the emulator started, and you can see that we have our Tap Me button on the screen of the emulator, and it's showing in the designer on the window behind. And if we click Tap Me, we can see the label is now set to the string Hi There. And that again is because if we look at our designer, you can see that when button 1 is clicked, we ask it to set label 1's text property to the string Hi There. That's a quick Hello World with App Inventor. Next up, we'll go through the process of installing the App Inventor helper application so that you can go ahead and do this yourself on your Mac or Windows machine, plus the emulator.